do that as a segment. She is a creep of the week.
Is that my segment?
Yes.
Because I'm literally like creep of the year.
Creepoid.
I always have good intentions, but it does come across creepy at times.
Story of your life.
And yours, to be fair.
All right. Congratulations for your coach award. What thing?
Can I tell everyone, this coach award is awarded to every coach at my club.
Yeah, but you shouldn't. You should just be
Why?
like, yeah, I got coach of the year. And what?
I did a few years ago, but I think they've stopped coach of the year, to be honest, because I would win it every time. So I'm joking.
Modesty.
I'm joking.
I mean, yeah. But well done. It's still an award.
Thank you.
It's still a man's body.
It is. I thought I'd bring it for this topic.
Yeah.
Thanks for bigging me up about it. Stop messing with the
my
table.
God. Got an affliction.
Ali.
Like, I can't.
You don't do this anywhere else.
I don't know. Should I sit like
Maybe we
this?
should bring some tape and tape you together.
If anyone's got any advice
Or a
as to
fiddler.
how not to fidget with hands in particular, I'm a bit handsy.
You should bring a ball. Like when I'm working.
Who's got the ball?
Well, when I'm working at home, I have stress balls.
Who's got the stress balls? Not me.
I should have brought it. Sorry. Next step.
I don't feel stressed.
But your hands need something to do.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to try my best. I don't know where to put it. I don't want to hold them. They feel a bit sweaty now. They know that they're being talked about. Also, I am sitting like this as well. This is comfortable for me, but also because I hurt my shoulder. Just if I haven't gone on about this enough.
You haven't. You haven't mentioned it on the pod, to be fair.
I went to the doctor. I went to see my physio on Friday, and she said I've inflamed the shoulder capsule. Say what? So she did actually make it a lot better with some pretty intense massage. And she's given me some take-home exercises to do, which I have been doing.
What kind of exercise?
Well, I have to lay down to do them. So unfortunately, I can't demonstrate.
Oh, no. TikTok?
Content coming soon. But yeah, and then I've also hurt my toe. And it's all been a bit much. So
Put your hand on the plant.
I hurt my hand on that plant. That was Alan Shearer's fault. As in the little model of Alan Shearer, not the man himself. Imagine. All right, Alan. Yeah, anyways. But other than that, I'm fine. It's great to be here. Thanks for inviting me on.
I didn't even ask how you were.
Right, well.
Yeah.
I was me passively aggressively letting you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you ask about
It's hot in
my
here.
day? Because I need to say something.
Oh, how was your day, Steph?
I don't know if I've told you. Prepare yourself. I'm editing a book.
She's editing a book. What's the name of the book?
I don't even think I can share anything about it. It's about football. It's a football book.
Okay.
I just wanted to say it so I could say book for you.
That is great. I appreciate all those things, and I think it's great that you're editing a book. Well, we can't, and I speak on behalf of the listeners and viewers. I was going to say watchers. I'm watching. We're really thrilled for you, and we can't wait to even have a glimpse of what it's about.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know what. I feel a bit
so
delirious.
genuine.
I do have a problem with tone.
Yeah.
Like anyone that's met me in real life,
IRL.
I have issues sounding sincere, even when I'm trying really hard to sound sincere.
I think I do too. But I just have issues sounding
Maybe
anything.
we shouldn't get guests on.
Oh, no.
Can you imagine?
Only guests that
That's great.
can take it.
Yeah, guests that understand the vibe and the bants. We do already have 2 lined up.
We do.
So everyone, if you've hit like and subscribe and whatever else you need to hit often enough, we will get a second season. If you haven't, you've only got yourselves to blame.
Oh, no.
Is that a way to encourage people?
No, but
I'm
if
not
you
sure.
haven't, it'll be a second season, but in your shed.
Yeah.
Or
My mum's shed, yeah. I don't know.
your bathroom. Or
There is
something.
a shed at the end of my garden.
That's
but
what I was thinking.
It's
Could we
a
go
bit
in it?
creepy. I think it's a bit Blair Witch vibes. I think we might die in there.
You'll dress for it.
I'm dressed like an assassin. For anyone watching, I feel to stand. I'm going to stand.
Ninja in the station. Here she is. Oh, you do. Oh,
You fell over, and I've got crepe check
God. She texts me to say, I'm wearing the pandas.
because we have to phone ahead on that one because we better phone them, as does probably about 80% of the population.
But I just wait for you to say. I never assume I can wear them.
Oh, bless you. I rarely wear them.
Rare. Rare.
Anyway, should we get on with it?
Yeah. What are we talking about, Ali?
Today we're...
Ali.
Oi. Today, what is wrong with us?
Ali. Do you remember Kelly?
No.
Kelly Rowland? Queen of my life. Kelly. Ali.
I don't actually know that. I'm going to Google it later. That's just got me thinking of Kelly and Nelly, though.
The Excel spreadsheet.
Love you. Her trying to not getting anywhere with guys because you're trying to text on an Excel spreadsheet. Boo. Anyway, today we are meandering through male allyship.
Still the timer. That's why we've done this.
What does it say on the? Oh,
I don't know. It doesn't give us a timer on the recording. That's why we've rambled.
I reckon we're probably at least
20 minutes in.
Let's take bets. I reckon we're 8.5 minutes in.
I think we're 6. You think I'm closer, don't you?
Yeah. I immediately know that I've lost. Anyway,
Please do it.
oh, the cable's in my armpit.
Oh, lovely.
What a mistake to make. Today we're talking about male allyship. And what we mean by that is men who are genuine allies to women, in this case, specifically in football.
Yeah, men showing up for women in football.
And that doesn't have to be loud. In fact, it's better if it's not boastful. Do you know what I mean? Like, sorry to start this topic on a negative slant. Imagine everyone's shock that I've gone in with a negative. But I do find sometimes men sort of want to be male allies, but also then they want to show off about it immediately on social media. And I'm like, so are you doing it because you're genuinely trying to be an ally? Or are you doing it because you want people to think that you're a good ally? Which is it? So what I think is really good male allyship is almost like the allyship that it's not that it goes unseen and unheard, because actually you need it to be seen and heard, but that it's genuine and it's like guys who use their platform and their position to support and represent and kind of stand up for women when maybe for certain reasons it's difficult for the woman to do that herself. But not like, I don't know, this might sound a bit harsh, but I have seen posts in the past where, I mean, what I see a lot on social media is men supporting women that they fancy. And I'm like, for me, that's not genuine support of women. That's you trying to try it with that woman. I'm going to shut up now because I feel like I'm being really negative.
No,
you tell me
not.
some stuff.
No, you're not. I was just going to ask if you had any examples, but you kind of gave
Yeah,
one
but
there
I
at the
can't.
end.
Yeah, I mean, I can't give specific examples.
Well, you're
'cause
going to
I
be
can't
calling people
name and
out.
shame.
But it is kind of like, I don't know, if you gave £100 to charity and then posted on Twitter, I just gave £100 to charity.
Yeah, like, so that's a really good analogy because, so what I do when I give £100 charity, what I would do is post the link for other people to be able to donate to help like spread awareness on it, but I wouldn't reveal how much I donated or anything. I'd just be like, if you can do it, please donate here and share amongst your friends to help this cause.
Yeah, I suppose you're talking about the line between like amplifying voices or like highlighting the need for support,
And then just trying to look
taking
good
credit
yourself.
for
Yeah.
Okay, so first point, allyship for the right reasons.
Yeah, allyship because you genuinely want to support and help women. Support and help means the same thing. I'm trying to think of like it's not just support, it's also, I guess it is an extension of support, but like it's not just about supporting that woman in isolation or even a group of women. It's also about using your platform because whether you realise it or not, as a man, you are in a position of privilege. And so it's about using that position and that platform to influence other men as well and like stand up for us when we're not there. I think that's what I'm getting. She got there in the end, everyone.
It's been 35 minutes.
8 hours. I think it's about doing the right thing when no one's watching, right? And it's about standing up for us, even if we're not there to witness it. Because if anything, that's more powerful. That's more powerful than going on social media and being like, I'm sponsoring this player for a season. Aren't I great? Please do sponsor female footballers if they need sponsorship. But do you understand what I'm saying? Actually, use your position amongst your male colleagues and friends to help support us.
What kind of things do we need? I don't like the way I phrased that. What things?
Luckily, you're the editor.
What things do women in coaching go through that we may need men to be allies to support us with?
Perfect. So I think, as a coach, again, there were lots of different behaviours that I witnessed, experienced, was subjected to by other men. And then by one man at a time. And then other men would just stand around and kind of just let it happen and watch. And you could see that some of them were uncomfortable as well, but they weren't prepared to risk their sort of social capital, I guess, in order to stand up for me. And I just feel like that's a bit weak because you know what, guys, if you feel uncomfortable by that conversation or that banter, in inverted commas, guess how the hell I feel about it? If someone's being sexist or misogynist or whatever, and there's men in the group that are kind of cringing a bit, imagine how the woman feels. And so I think that's one form of support I think we need. But also just little things like match day. I've been to I've lost count of the number of matches I went to as a female coach where the opposition coach, a man, would just walk straight past me to shake the hand of my male coach, assistant, or maybe he was the head coach. But either way, hello, I'm a human being. And so really small things, you could be oh, and this is Ali. Do you know what I mean? And introduce me, I'm important too, because I am.
Just on the first one, I feel like I'm falling into the interviewer.
I know. I'll get you
We'll
back
rectify
out of it.
this at some point.
Yeah.
Some men may challenge, and I think this is bullshit, but I'm going to put it to you, that it's patronising were they to stick up for you in some of those scenarios because you should be able to stick up for yourself. What do you say to that, Alison?
I think it's about reading the room because I think there are times when that is annoying when a guy's stepped in. But equally, I guess it's just about having some kind of emotional intelligence and reading the vibe and being well, you know what? She hasn't said anything. And so maybe she doesn't feel comfortable because if she felt comfortable, she'd have probably said something. So give it a minute, give it a beat and see if she does. And then if she doesn't, maybe also just have that conversation with that coach, at another time as well and be how do you feel about this? Because I think this is the thing, everything I've ever said on this pod is my personal opinion. I don't expect everyone to agree with me. And I really want us to discuss these things. I think me and you are having these conversations as a starter for 10, aren't we? And we want the audience to kind of, I was going to say write in.
We'll give them your home address.
We'll give you, and you can send it with a postage stamp.
Might arrive by second season.
Or carrier pigeon. But, we want the listeners and the viewers to communicate with us so that if they're no, that's a load of rubbish, I don't agree with that. But I guess, and there will be women that are I can stand up for myself, thanks. And that's great. But actually, I know that there's a lot of women who don't feel comfortable to because I've been one of them. And I come across as quite a ballsy person, I think. I think I present as a very confident, secure individual who will hold her who will hold her own in social situations and like those types of environments. But actually, it depends. It depends on the guys, and it depends on the conversation, and it depends how uncomfortable it's made me feel, and how much I think I might be outcast if I don't go along with that banter or whatever it is that's taking place that makes me uncomfortable.
Also, like, depends what day it is.
Depends what time of the month it is. I hate to go there, but that's also true.
But also sometimes it depends how much you've had to withstand already that
I
day.
don't know why, but I thought you were going to say it depends how much you've had to drink.
Oh, God. I've literally made my first point of the pod.
Sorry.
I mean, it could depend on how much you've had to drink, but...
But you shouldn't coach.
Don't coach and drink,
drunk.
please. I do know someone that did that.
Oh my gosh.
And drove a player home. Terrible behavior. I know, terrible behavior. Scandal.
Scandal. Sorry, Steph, continue.
What was my really good point?
It was that it depends on...
You don't even listen to it. You to me.
I'm an awful male ally.
You are. No, my point was, it depends on how much you've had to withstand that day sometimes.
Yes.
Because sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I can take this, whatever.
Yeah.
Other times I'm like, I've taken this 5 times already today. I cannot be fucked to do it again. That kind of thing. So I think it comes back to your point about like, it is about awareness of male coaches, of the things that we might be experiencing as females.
Yeah.
And then conversations in terms of, how can I support you?
Yeah.
In that, what would have been helpful for me to do?
Yeah. And you don't have to name them if you're not comfortable to. Although I love a shout out. Not as in you're going to name me. Obviously, I'm not a male ally. But have you got examples of good, like what you felt was good male allyship?
Yeah, I mean, I referenced one a while ago, a couple of pods ago, didn't I? His name is Dayton. I should have shouted him out.
Shout out Dayton.
Shout out Dayton. I don't know if I'll ever send him this. Don't want it to get around my parent group, but we'll see.
Oh, we might beep it out.
A really good example of male allyship, and it wasn't, it was for me and it was also for my players. So we were getting a new kit for the team, and I was sent the size chart and it said men's sizes on it.
Oh, right, yeah.
It said youth or men's.
They're the only people that play football.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm not sure we can share this. Is there like a woman's size? And then he'd said, the guy that was organising it said to me, oh, I've called them. They said it's unisex. And I was a bit like, well, why does it say men's then? And I don't really think there is such a thing as a unisex fit in a football kit. Anyway, I was kind of, and this is on me, and I think because I grew up wearing all male kit, all male hand-me-downs, I've been a bit like beaten by it, and part of me was just like, that's what we just accept, I think. But my male co-coach called Darren, he was like, no, Steph, it's not acceptable. The girls deserve a girl's kit, like a women's kit.
Shout out Darren.
And he was like, what can I do to help it? Do you want me to have the conversation, or do you want me to back you when you have the conversation? Like, we need to push for this. And I had the conversation. And I hate challenging conversations. It was incredibly difficult. But he backed me. He pushed me to that point, and he backed me all the way for that. And I was really grateful for that reminder, actually. That was a really good example of male allyship for me. And another shout out for Darren is we had, sometimes when we're training, because I suppose in a lot of Laugh, Natalie.
I mean, I won't name any names, we might edit that out, but as you know by now, if you're a regular listener, I make little prompts, little bullet points, because my memory's shocker.
Her notes, she calls them.
I call them my notes, but they're not like reams. It's not a script, obviously. Can you imagine
if this was the level?
Imagine if this was me scripted, just going off for one. But I do make little notes to remind myself of key points, and I literally just noticed in that moment that Steph has added something to those notes as a complete and utter piss take. And I've only just seen it, and so I burst out laughing. Apologies.
I thought you'd
Carry
seen
on.
it when I was
Also,
at the
can I
toilet.
just take this opportunity to ask who's Darren and who's Dayton? Because that's very confusing.
Darren's the co-coach, Dayton's the lino.
Okay, but in your example,
Yeah.
it came across, like, what did Dayton do? Because
Dayton was the example I gave on the other pod of where I was being challenged by two men and he just came and stood beside me.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That was Dayton.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Darren was the kit sizes.
Kit sizes.
Shout out both of them.
Darren also, so sometimes we get people coming to watch our sessions that are maybe, it's not appropriate that they're around children, but it's a public space, so you can't actually really do much.
Yeah.
And there's one guy that comes to watch quite often, and he's quite a big guy. Sometimes he'll bring a boombox and play Jolene. And
Jolene.
Yeah.
Jolene.
And the kids, like, once they've got to, like, they've seen him a few times, they know it's all right. But if they're seeing him for the first time, they're a bit nervous. And I'm nervous about it, and I want to ask him to step away and stuff. And one time he was there, and the two men that were with me just left the area and left me there with the girls when the guy was there. And I was like, this is such a lack of awareness, actually, of the kids' safety, but also how I might be feeling in this. And I spoke to Darren about it, and Darren wasn't one of those guys, but I spoke to Darren about it. And whenever he's there now, he'll go and do that challenging, or he'll stand beside me, or he'll just take that off me, which I find massively helpful as well. And as soon as I explained that to him, he was there and he does it. So.
And those are such great examples, Steph, because that's what I was trying to say earlier, is that it doesn't have to be this big show. Sometimes it can literally just be coming and standing next to you, like physically placing yourself in a very subtle way between the female coach and some other male who is, for whatever reason, being a dickhead. Sometimes it's like no words need to be exchanged almost. Like sometimes it's just about your physical presence. And even that like makes me feel a bit like, oh, because it's like, oh, I need a man, I need a knight in shining armour. But it's not that. And I think this leads on to my next point around it's, to me, I want male allyship to be a temporary thing. I don't want to have to need it forever.
Yeah, because that behaviour should ultimately change.
Yeah, it's a means to an end.
Yeah.
Because we're going to smash the patriarchy together, men and women. And once we've done that, like, then we don't need men to kind of state our case for us or whatever, or come and stand next to us or say, oh, lads, leave it out. We're not going to need any of that, because actually men are just going to stop behaving inappropriately. That is, in all honesty, a pipe dream. Like,
probably after we've died.
Yeah.
Our legacy.
I don't think I'll see it in my lifetime, unfortunately, but I do think it's something that's worth working towards. And that's part of why we wanted to do the pod, wasn't it? Because we talked about this a lot when we were deciding to do this pod, that we were very conscious that we didn't want men to feel got at. We didn't want men to feel attacked and like it was an anti-male pod, because it's absolutely not. And we want you to come on this journey with us, but some of that might be uncomfortable for you guys listening, because you might learn some stuff on this pod and you might hear some stuff that makes you feel a bit seen, and it might make you reflect on some of your past behaviour. But that's great if that happens, because then you can rectify that. It is never too late to start being a good person. I truly believe that. And so, yeah, I don't want male allyship to continue. I want it to serve its purpose, but we're not there yet. So we still need it now. Absolutely.
I think it's really just natural as well that if you are a white man in football, you would feel some kind of way about it, because you've always had the stage.
Yeah.
And then maybe you're a bit like, oh, hang on, who's this coming in? And they're getting part of it, and they're getting part of it. And I think that's a natural human reaction, actually, to be a bit like that. But I think you have to be open to being challenged. And that goes for us when we're being allies to other communities. Like, you have to be open to getting challenged, to getting stuff wrong. That someone might be a bit pissed off with you if you do get stuff wrong, but you've still got to keep trying it. And women get pissed off when men get stuff wrong because we have to go through it all the time, and it's tiring.
Yeah.
And it's really tiring, and just understanding that, I think, is really important.
Yeah, definitely.
I've also had people that have just the line, where the line is, I think, is the tricky thing. I've had a really funny, it's not funny, but
lol,
I did laugh afterwards. Again, it's about Kit, and I think someone was genuinely trying to be a male ally. But I challenged a guy about a girl's kit, and he said to me, well, the thing is, Steph, when you get into your teenage years and you grow boobs, sometimes you can feel a bit awkward about them. So if the material's too tight around them, it's a bit awkward. Like, girls feel, and just went on and on and on. To me, who was standing there with my own boobs, I brought them with me, and I was like, I know, this is
funnily enough, this is my lived experience.
This is something I don't need you to speak on. I appreciate you trying.
Bless him, because I do think that is an example of misguided allyship.
It was, and I found that really hard to challenge in the moment, because I was like, oh, you're trying.
Yeah. But also, what the fuck?
Yeah. I was like, would I be talking to him about
Yes, I think there is something around, that's a really good point as well, isn't it? I think there's something around
Thanks for stopping me.
A key part.
Yes. No. That's a genuine thank you.
Oh gosh. I'm very conscious of the interviewer-interviewee dynamic we sometimes have.
Rectified it.
I think a really key part of male allyship for me is listening to and believing women when we speak on all sorts of things, because believe women has become a very loaded phrase associated with rape victims and victims of, horrific sexual assault and abuse. And also, yes, obviously believe women when they talk about those things as well. Very topical for football at all times, but especially this week. Anyway, so yes, believe women in those scenarios as well, but also just listen to and believe women when they speak about the lived experience as a woman. Because I think sometimes when we talk about our experiences, it makes men feel quite uncomfortable, because I think it does one of a few things, or maybe all of these things. But I think first and foremost, I think it makes them think, oh God, have I ever done that or said that or been that person? And then that gets them thinking, and then they feel a little bit defensive because they feel a bit attacked. And it's like, I don't know you, bro. You might. I don't know what you're like off this training pitch. I don't know what you do in your spare time. You could be anyone. I'm not accusing you. I'm just trying to tell you about something I've experienced that made me feel uncomfortable for whatever reason. The other thing I think it does is it makes them think, gosh, that's like my mate Gary. Do you know what I mean? I think it makes them think of someone who they actually get along with really well and maybe love as a friend or whatever. And they're like, oh, I can kind of see now how his behaviour is exactly what she's talking about. And actually, it's not received how he might think it is or might hope it is. And so for those and other reasons, I think sometimes it just makes men a bit uncomfortable when women start speaking their truth. But you know what, guys? Suck it up. Seriously, that is one of my bugbears. Is oh no, can we not talk about this? Can you not bang on about that, Ali? Because it's making me uncomfortable. Oh, try living it every day in all aspects of my life, not just at this club on this training pitch where, all you lads are rank. I don't know if I've brought this up on the pod before or not, but where you're ranking the mums in order of which you want to have sex with. I'm subjected to that sexism and that misogyny everywhere. And so it would be really nice to carve out some spaces in my life where I just didn't have to deal with that. And as we talked about on the mental health episode, football has always been such a safe space for me because I've tried to make it a safe space for me. So when men in particular make it unsafe, that's really difficult for me to handle. And so, yeah, I do need other men who are good sometimes to step in. And like we said, it doesn't have to be a big show. But I refuse to believe that, like, men aren't emotionally intelligent enough to be able to tell when a woman needs support and when she doesn't.
I think sometimes, like you were saying about believing women, that I've had a lot, he didn't mean it like that. And I think part of it is, well, you won't have heard it like that because you're not a woman and you can choose to hear it from your perspective because you're not like, I was going to say laced. I don't know what the word is. You're not carrying the stuff that we have to carry around it. So you just need to have that extra step of thought.
Yeah.
Which is like, actually, that's why it's being received in that way, because it is that way in that experience. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does completely. But I do feel quite hopeful as well because I know so many good guys in football. Like we've talked about it on the pod. I've been subjected to some despicable behaviour at the hands of men in football. But thankfully, they are in the minority. And actually, I know loads of really genuine good guys in all sorts, like as co-coaches, as technical directors, as coach educators. I know so many like good men in football who genuinely want to support me as a football coach, not as a female football coach, as a football coach. And I think that's a really important distinction as well, because I think it's exhausting sometimes to sort of feel like just a token. And I think the more people draw attention to the fact that you're a woman, like I'm not there to be a female football coach. I'm there like the rest of you. I'm there to just coach football. But unfortunately, because of the way some of you behave towards me because I am a woman, that's why it comes up and that's why, sometimes then I feel uncomfortable. But I don't want to draw attention to it. I feel like it's everyone else that does. Don't know if that makes sense.
Yes.
Staring at me like this.
No, because it does make sense. I had so many points to make. I was like, what shall I actually go for? I don't know. I think just staring at the curtain.
Okay.
Ali.
Steph's having a moment.
I am having.
Let's have a jingle.
I'm having a moment. What was it? Creep of the week.
She is a creep of the week.
Thank you. That's better. I was doing Harry Hills. Do you remember?
I mean, just different cultural references, like whatever floats your boat.
Do you not remember it? Be like, intense medical conversation of the week.
I don't remember, but I'm very conscious of this hand fidgeting.
It's good. I think your hand's been all right.
Well done, hand.
I think it's been all right. One of my things I was thinking is that one thing that really pisses me off is men that come into the girls or women's game and still exhibit this behavior. Like, they shouldn't be exhibiting it anywhere, but they come into the girls or women's game and are like, oh yeah, this is my game, this is still my space, because they have that entitlement over football. And I'm like, you have a responsibility to the players here as well to actually do well by me. That really frustrates me. And I think it plays into the whole like women's game as a stepping stone thing. Oh yeah, which I know pisses you right off. Sorry to have mentioned it.
A red flag for me. Yeah, and I think that's why I get particularly like alarmed by men who are sort of like sexually inappropriate in the girls and women's space. Because I'm like, first of all, you're coaching like 13-year-olds, so grim.
Yeah.
But also just have some self-respect. Like, you're supposed to be working.
Yeah.
Like, can you honestly not just switch that off?
I think it's just really important to say, don't touch a woman.
Yeah.
Like,
uninvited.
It's uninvited. Like, I love the guys that fist pump the male coach, then fist pump me.
Yeah.
And like, that's your exact same behaviour.
Yes.
Not the guys that like fist pump the male coach, then go just give me a kiss on the cheek.
I know. I feel like we live in extremes. Like it's either you get completely ignored as a female coach, or you get molested on the touchline. And it's like, you know what, guys? I think a really good rule of thumb is: would you say or do that to a male coach? If the answer is no, don't do it to us.
If you're sliding,
it's as simple as that.
Yeah. If you're sliding past us, you don't need to touch our hip.
Yeah, you don't need to move me out the way.
No.
By my hips.
Just say, excuse me, Ali. Can I get past, please?
Move, bitch. Get out the way. No, don't say that.
Please, Ali. Let me past. What is it?
Please, sir. Want some more?
Yeah. Please, Ali.
I don't know where this has gone.
But you don't need to touch anyone.
Yeah.
The fact of it.
The thing is, I'm like agreeing with you.
Yeah.
But I'm a really tactile person.
I am, but I think you can get there.
Yeah, I think you need to just... But I guess what I'm saying is, open and honest, as ever, is that there might have been times where maybe I've, like, not touched in a sexual way, but, like, I might have moved a guy out of the way or whatever. Like, I might have touched a guy like that uninvited and in an unnecessary way, as in I could have just asked him to move. So we're not perfect.
No.
Like, we get it wrong as well. But I think it's so loaded for women because we live in a world where sexual violence is off the scale. Like, and we live with that threat and the fear of that threat all the time we're awake. Like, we're conscious of that on some level. Like, if there was a way of monitoring, there probably is, like, monitoring your, like, threat level. But if, like, women will be aware of their surroundings at all times. Sometimes, like, more than others. But we will always have that kind of,
yeah,
and who's here?
You know what? Of course, men have experienced sexual assault and stuff. We're not saying they haven't, but every woman will have had something across the scale and will be conscious of that. And I think it's really important to know, for men to know that and to recognise that.
But I guess, just on a coaching level, I think we've just hopefully given some useful examples of the way that men can be allies to coaches, female coaches. And that's not just other coaches, like dads on the touchline, like it's everyone.
Yeah, I think also just challenge yourself on what you see as a woman's place in football.
Yeah.
That might be really difficult, but if it's difficult, that's just the place you're going to have to start in.
Yeah.
Essentially, because I've been in a lot of situations where the man will just talk because he believes it's his right.
Yeah.
In football, and I will literally just wait and wait it out until I can get my word in.
Yeah.
Because I think men are sometimes insecure about women saying things in the game. I think just really, think about what some of your preconceptions might be about women in the game and how that might be impacting your behaviour or how you respond to women in the game, and then how you can work on that and what you can do to do more. And it is not, I'm going to set up a women's team or I'm going to get like a female coach in. It could be that, but it needs to be all the work that exists around it for that to be okay.
And equally, if you're good at this yourself, great. Educate your mates.
Yeah.
Like, your work isn't done just because you're not being an arsehole. Because, unfortunately, there will be men around you who continue to be arseholes. So, like, call that out as well. And that's really uncomfortable. I know it is. But again, like I've said, well, if it's uncomfortable for you, we'll suck it up because it's more uncomfortable for us to be on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, and it's something that you have to do repeatedly and continuously. You can't just choose, because unlike you, who actually could choose to dip in and dip out, we can't choose to step out of the door and not present like this and not be at risk and not experience certain things. So we need men to commit to doing it repeatedly and continuously as well.
Yeah. But I really would. I'm conscious that we're recording these episodes like in advance, and so this won't air for a while, but we really want to interact with our audience once the episodes go live, and so we will be interacting with you, and we have been, because this is like episode 7, so you'll know by now the ways in which we've been interacting with you on social media once an episode airs. And for this one in particular, I'm really keen to hear from men. Like, I really would love like your honest and open feedback on like what you've heard, and if you've learned anything new, or if you disagree, or like, again, you don't have to be horrible about it. Like, to say how you feel, but don't go attacking anyone. But yeah, I'm really keen to see how this lands with the male audience. I don't think at times I've expressed myself as eloquently as I would if I were to write a blog on this subject, but that's podcasting, baby.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah, I don't think it's been our finest work. It's a really important topic for us, and I think we've fucked it. No, we haven't. It's fine.
We are going to come back to it. Do you want to say some positive things about some male allies that you've experienced?
Yeah, I won't name them because I don't want them to be uncomfortable.
Okay.
But I do.
Oh, no, I shouldn't have named.
No, that's fine. I mean, you can decide in the edit whether
2 Ds.
Yeah. Double D.
Double D.
It's inappropriate. So inappropriate. Yeah, I won't name mine. They know who they are. Or they might from the description. Loads of guys sitting at home going, that's totally me. She's definitely talking about me. So one of them is a coach educator who I just love. I just think he's great. And he just quietly goes about being brilliant.
Yeah.
And he's not a show off. He uses social media, but to help other people. He doesn't ever really be like, I just did this, look at me. He's very like me. He's very he's basically the opposite of me. No, he's very kind of humble. But he is someone who listened to me in a really difficult moment and believed me and has supported me ever since. So I guess that's quite a personal one around a specific thing. But I've watched him kind of mentor and support other female coaches, not just in terms of coaching, but also in terms of coach education, like them becoming coach educators as well. I just think he's a really brilliant champion for women in the sport, and he works in the women and girls game at a relatively high level, and so he is serious about it. Do you know what I mean? It's not just he's not using it as a stepping stone, or he's like, yeah, this is what I'm interested in, this is where I want to help. So he's great. I also, speaking of social media, because we know I do love social media, I've got a love-hate relationship with it, really, haven't I? But I do know a couple of guys on there as well who use their platforms in great ways to just amplify. You know, we're talking about the difference of like amplifying someone else's cause and then just showing off about your involvement in it. And these guys really do just use their platforms to amplify the women and girls game and women who work in the sport, regardless of what their roles are and whether they work in the women's game or the men's game. So they're great. And then also one guy who's like, who I've actually coached with. And again, he works, he works in the male game as well, but he's coached for a long time with women. And again, just really non-threatening. I think there's just something to be said about guys who know how to leave their ego like at the door and just be like, yeah. And just there's no like patronizing. Has just always spoken to me on a level as a fellow coach. So yeah, great.
Good shout out.
I know, I feel bad because I didn't actually name them, but
they know who they are. Give them a wink.
That was the most awkward wink I've ever done in my life.
That was a double eye wink. You just
that was
your
like
eyes.
That was also like,
oh no, can you not wink?
Wait,
I didn't know.
No, I did wink. Am I blinking?
Yeah.
I can't
for the
wink.
Camera?
Also, give them a wink. Who does that? have a wink from Steph on my behalf. I thought you were going to be like, just give him a wave or something. I was going to go,
go on then, give
"Thanks,
a wave."
guys."
See, 2 hands. You can't even do that with one. Oh, God. But
Steph's an awful male ally.
do you know what I was thinking? Which is a really basic point, and it's because I work in editorial, so I edit a lot of football content. And everyone talks about he whenever they're talking about anything.
Who?
He. Like, and
Oh, yes. I thought you said Haiti, and I was like, what?
no,
Haiti?
my voice would break.
Everybody talks about Macy Gray. Macy Gray's made an appearance.
Oh, of course she has. He,
He, him, his.
he, him, his.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
littered.
I mean,
throughout.
the game is rife
And
with it.
it's an assumption that you're talking about male players all the time. So maybe
And indeed, male coaches.
yeah, male coaches. Maybe a place to start is just changing your pronouns to them.
Yeah.
And also,
They, them, theirs.
yeah, perfect.
Coach education's a big one for that. Like,
It's
so
massive.
like they're getting there, but so much of the like textbook and the like literature that you read around it is
And all the
as though the-
photos.
yeah, it's like men.
Yeah, and I have to repeatedly ask for it to be changed, and I feel like it's annoying, and I feel like people are getting probably annoyed at me for it being changed. But I'm like, it's the way it has to be.
It's 2023, y'all.
Yeah, let's arrive in the new century.
No one knew where she was going.
Not
just-
even
sometimes you
me.
Sometimes you just have to let it unravel, fall out your mouth.
Like this pod. It's
Oh
really
my God,
unravelled
this
quickly, isn't it?
episode has, and also we don't even know. I mean, let's call time.
No. Do you? I got a.
Social media. That was awful.
I got a.
I mean, that's kind of the point. But
I did
still.
spot one that I don't need comment on, but it's just really funny.
Just want to put it out there and see my facial reactions. Don't let me do that.
What reacciones? It's
Just when I say iones on the end of anything.
It's just the Italian in you.
Yeah, but
Just-
it's awful.
You've got a cheek saying about book. Right. Mo Sangare, is that how you say his name? The footballer. Basically, he was making a debut and he turned up at the wrong stadium.
I mean, Google Maps will send you wrong, man. Don't trust
He
it.
went to the Tony Macaroni Arena, but it was at Leicester-Hampton.
This whole thing, I don't understand.
Right, anyway, my actual social media point, which I think links quite well to allyship,
Oh, God, she's memorised it.
is that FIFA, you're going on a little journey with FIFA, aren't you?
Journey. Ching.
Ching.
That's your money.
Yeah. I'm teaching you about FIFA.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
knew some stuff already that...
minimum.
No, but... I mean, how much can we say? Are FIFA ever going to want to get involved with us?
I doubt it.
I mean, are we ever going to want to get involved with FIFA?
The game I'm talking about.
We might need to edit. I thought you meant like FIFA.
No, I'm FIFA.
So when you said you were educating me, I was trying to say, well, I know some of their shit's shady, y'all. That's but you're talking about the game.
Yeah, I am educating you in the
It is a learning
in the,
journey.
in the
Ching.
game of FIFA.
Okay, this is awkward. We might need to
It's
edit that.
really awkward. Anyway, I'm educating you in FIFA.
We can
And
beep
then
it out.
and on something called on FIFA there's something called Ultimate Team. Have you heard of it? Okay. That was a no because I might cut. So essentially Ultimate Team, me and Ali just play friendlies really with our teams against each other and I win.
Doesn't feel friendly.
Try my best.
For someone who's like a coach of kids, like trying to help people feel comfortable in a safe space in order to learn, try playing FIFA with her.
Because I'm competitive and I suppress it on a Sunday.
Yeah. How many times have I played FIFA in my life, Steph?
It's not my problem. Anyway,
Coach behaviours.
there's something called Ultimate Team, and I'm probably going to explain it for really badly to FIFA fans, but essentially it's an online game. You can trade players in and out. You're looking to build like the ultimate team. You build connection, like you want a team that's connected, so maybe players from the same country or like they've got some other kind of link.
Right.
For the first time this year, so FIFA 24, it's a mix of men and women. I don't think women have ever been involved in
Amazing.
Ultimate Team before, so it's a mix of men and women.
Great.
not going to dignify the comments by reading them out.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's bullshit.
You know what
People
I
aren't
call
happy.
this? Well, when you say people, do you mean men?
Yes.
So, you know what I call this?
What?
Small dick energy.
SDE. City.
Like, get over yourself.
Also, it's a game.
It's so boring.
It's a computer game.
Yeah.
That's the levels you have to go to.
Yeah. And it's so, and also I do just think now we've got to the point where people just leave comments like that for attention. I don't even think they mean half of them anymore. I'm like, you just know that this is going to gain traction. And I think it's a really sad state of affairs that some people are so lonely that even if the attention they're getting is a pile on social media, like a negative reaction, they'll take that over nothing.
Yeah.
Like they'll take that over no interaction. And that's really tragic for those individuals. And I hope they get the help that they need. But also, shut up and piss off. Like I can't even grace it anymore with like I always tried to be really good about it on Twitter. Like even when sometimes people used to tweet me horrible stuff, and I used to screenshot it or whatever, I'd always block out, like I'd smudge out the user because I didn't want to create a pile-on, but I did want my followers to understand some of the stuff I was subjected to. And I just think it's so boring. Like, honestly, get something in your life that you don't need to do stuff like that.
That reminds me of another good allyship point. If you think it's never funny when people try and make these jokes about like, oh, women are so sensitive, or whatever trope you want to use.
Get back in the kitchen.
I'm
so
awful at cooking, just FYI.
boring. And then when you challenge it, they're like, oh, don't be so defensive about it. It's not funny.
Yeah.
Like, just be funnier. Like, get a better joke.
Yeah.
Find something that takes a bit more thinking about.
Work for it.
Work for it.
Earn my laughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the key lesson of this episode.
That is.
But yeah, I hate all of that. It's just like, really, you're that threatened. Your masculinity is that threatened
Buy
that
a
you've
video
got to
game.
buy a
That's
computer
quite
game.
fun. That's quite
Tragic.
fun. But we can play Ultimate Team.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll have Samka.
Well, okay, we can talk about how it works later.
Also, just to finish on, the Women's World Cup kicks off this week. Woo! Obviously,
This will be airing after
this
it's
this will have been played and won and lost before this episode ever goes to air.
Yeah.
But who do you think's going to win?
Australia.
Yeah, I don't think, like, as a fan, obviously I want England to win, but I really don't think they are. I don't even think they'll get as far as, I think they might get to the quarters.
I think quarters.
Yeah.
I think quarters.
Sorry, Lionesses. Like, we love you and everything.
Yeah, but I saw them play Australia a couple of months ago and oh God, it was miserable.
I just think there's so many injuries. There's been a lot of disruption. Also, something that might be a bit controversial for some people. As much as I was like overjoyed that they won it, the Euros last summer, if Pop hadn't got injured in the warm-up, I think Germany would have won.
Oh, Ali! Why are you dropping that now?
Audience
Yeah.
Figures down.
Oh, we've lost Amanda.
Down.
I did see them doing a really cool warm-up today, though, where they had an exercise ball. Did you see it?
No.
So it was like a circle. Every player had a exercise ball in the middle. And they got to keep the exercise ball in the middle without it going out, but they got to kick the balls to hit the exercise ball.
Oh, that's fun.
It was really fun. I'm a real sucker for constantly buying new equipment to do games with. So I'll be
There she
ordering an
goes.
exercise ball for my stretching and for my kids. That's it.
Thanks for listening / watching. Please stay with us even though I just slated the Lionesses. No, I was really glad that they won it. I cried in my
Obviously.
seat at Wembley when the final whistle went.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I did. I was so tired. But no, I was so emotional. I toured the country delivering training. No, but I was tired. But I was also just because it wasn't just that moment. It was what that moment represented. It was bigger than that moment.
It was, yeah.
And I felt very emotional about it. That I cried in my seat. So I was really happy that they won. But I do just think in tournament football, so many stars have to align. And I think we had our moment in the summer and that was great. I don't think the stars will align in the same way for this World Cup.
No, I agree.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Do you know what was really nice that happened to me when England won the Euros? People were messaging me saying, Steph, I'm so happy for you.
I got that as well.
Because they knew how much it meant to me.
Like, and people that don't even speak to me that often as well. Not in a
Yeah.
horrible way, but like I don't really hear from that often. They were like I had family members like that. My family who never speak to me. No, I just mean like not
My brother who I live with, he knocked on the door. He said, Ali, I'm so happy for you.
No, but I mean like not distant relatives, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of those like aunts and stuff that you don't always keep in touch with. Like I had loads of people messaging me almost like on behalf of women's football, and I was like, no,
I know, that was lovely, wasn't it? Really nice.
Yeah.
We're just going to stay forever.
Yeah, let's just we need to book our bowling for next
Yeah.
episode.
My banana, actually.
Okay, well, hope you enjoy it.